Do you want to know what it is?
C'est la banana! Yum, yum!
After this, there is no turning back.
How many assholes we got on this ship anyhow? Yo!
You take the blue pill. The story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe.
Roger. Huh?
You take the red pill. You stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
Oh, excellent. We'll take this one.
Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Welcome to a new episode of the World Beyond the Cloud podcast. I'm Guillaume Jallery, your host, surrounded with member of the O team. Joining us today, Steve Glazer, CTO and co-host. How's the weekend?
Coming.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's nice and coming. Today was snowing in Washington DC. Believe it or not, it was snowing, and then suddenly the sun came out. I was pretty amazed after my shitty weekend that I had with a flat that I rented, and when we were over there, it was a rat hole. From the internet to the rat hole, it was like something. So my last weekend was pretty horrible. So, rugby match, France, Six Nations, France, England, the crunch. Yeah, so I like rugby. Yeah, I will see the Six Nations is for me it's one of the most the best sports stuff. So it's the crunch. So it's the eternal rival, British against French. Centuries of fighting and middle age and killing each other. So, yeah, French and English. It's like American and Canadian in hockey. Yesterday was Real Madrid, Manchester City. So. I was thinking Manchester City will go just kick ass the Real Madrid, but what a match! I'm very sorry, Steve. For this time, I'm very sorry. Last year you kick our ass, you kick Real Madrid out.
I don't worry about it.
Oh, they have a really cool team.
Oh no, it's City's doing fine. It's just watching mostly Premier League and FA Cup.
So we're going to keep that subject. So today in our program, our main subject discussion will be, does tech companies cares about our privacy, or do they market product well? Then we will follow up with one of our first early adopters coming to our show, and we will finish with a debate and comment on the latest tech news. So, guys, let's start to roll off the first section, and let's get to it.
Yep.
Read me back the last line.
Ooh, big historia.
Read me back the last line.
Not my last line, somebody else's.
This is a very complicated case. Read me back the last line.
That's my last line again.
Keep it simple. Oh, no, sir, that's my last line. I read it to you just a moment ago.
No! God, please, no! No! No!
You guys are nuts.
Yeah. Well, here we go to do. This is our the first term. So, does tech companies really care about our privacy, or do they market their product well? So, as you go, tech companies always talk about security and sell all the products around privacy, which mainly is most what they are. Just talk privacy. But it's clear that all tech products are cloud-based and sending out all our data into their servers to monetize our information. How come every time we use our devices, our privacy is compromised, which is mainly where it was. So just introducing the term, guys, as you can see, we use technology since I don't know, Steve use more tech than me on the same aspect. Justin, you just are you younger than me? Yeah, you are. You're younger than us. Welcome to the mini group.
I'm the old fart.
Yeah, you're the little mignon. I think so.
As the shirt says, old guys rule. So there you go.
So yeah, so that's really something that I found pretty amazing in the tech. Every time you buy a phone or a computer, they always get around privacy, and then suddenly you don't know why your data leaks or you don't have access to your data from far away. Why this happened, guys? Why today we have so much? Does you think that it's the company really cares about the privacy, selling products, or by finally they just do product because now it's a monopolistic market and they market well into it? What do you think,
Steve? It's to sell. Everything's about product sales. So any way that you can do it, especially if you want to put, as we talked about in one of the earlier casts, was about viral marketing. Once you get viral marketing, there isn't really any privacy at all because you're trying to, sort of leapfrog off of every other person. And when you're trying to do that, it's always going to be that way, especially with things like this, social media or podcasts. You're always trying to do outreach. However, we just talk about it. We're always talking about it. But all the products I've been in, I mean, heck, just now having trouble with email servers is bad enough. I mean, a basic SMTP server is what everyone should be using, but that's not how it works out. I mean, you could just spin one up and have it work, which is our plan anyway. But the point is that if you work on MS365, you can forget it. All of your stuff is totally being poked into. If you use Gmail, they're indexing all of your messages. Slack, yeah, they say they're private. They're not. Proton, well, they tried to tell us they were private, but now we know they're not with the latest article that came out. So you can kind of see that it all depends on whether or not they're going to have an advantage to sharing you with someone else, whoever that other else person is. So, and a lot of people used to say, well, don't share or don't go online if you prefer to be private, meaning, go curl up in a cave, right? It's like you should, go off the grid. I even think off the grid, you're toast. Like they're still going to find you. It doesn't really matter if they needed to. There's data on you that predates when you went off the grid, unless you went off the grid at 1 year old. It's really the only time you're truly going to be off the grid. So then the inverse is true. You can be as open as you want, but you should be prepared with what you're being open with, right? Because now you can go to the Internet Archive and grab anything. I mean, there's, people will resurface articles about things that someone may have said or some other product positioning or whatever it could have been, and they'll just dredge it back up and push it out. And that's when you see people coming with receipts. So I don't really think it's privacy per se. You have to be personally invested in your own privacy. So you create your own version of a off the grid.
When you see, when you buy a phone, the times it takes you to configure your phone, and you already leak after 1 second.
But do you mean configure or misconfigure? Purposefully misconfigure? Because that's what I do.
Because when you see when you start to buy an Android and you have Google everywhere with Facebook plus the apps at the back, and you say, "Oh, I'm secure." All the company gives you tells you that you are private, and we know exactly what happened under the hood. Well, I don't know, Justin. You have you've been using some things. But I don't trust the marketing of the tech company. When we met with Steve, he knows that I hate the tech industry. But I don't trust any of their products, even if they sell it through their brand. We know, I know what's inside. Steve knows it very well. But I don't trust what the marketing they're saying. I believe that they don't build product anymore. They just know that they are in a monopolistic market, and they just bring product. Yes, you can see the evolution of the iPhone. Steve knows because he's been in so many companies and saw the tech since the beginning. but he knows well. Steve will be able to say, but I know very well that today they spend so much money into marketing and less today in really building what we were used to have: robust product that really delivers what they need, what the consumer wants. You see the latest Pixel Google advertisement. It's scary. The phone costs, I think it was $400 or $500, something like this, and they say that you have an offer where you can buy it $250. How come? How come you sell a phone that is twice the price and you say, "Oh, I can make you directly $250,000"? Because those guys make money in our data.
Well, it's
Steve.
subsidized. So the key is that even when I was at Palm, there's a level of subsidization. You subsidize certain parts of it. So while we were the phone vendor, we're the ones making the phone or the device. The carriers that are taking your device and are going to sell those, obviously you're going to take a cut. So you can use this in any of the models. You can use it with pharmacological sales. You can, and then doctors, or even the hospital. And then your doctor, and then you, the patient. The hospital realizes that they need to charge a buttload so that the doctor still makes some money to pay down their loan that they had to get their doctorate. So so it just keeps feeding down to you're the one constantly pulling out your checkbook. So that it's always going to be that way, that there's no way around it. I always looked at it like it's a leaky hose. In that you don't know what's happening when you're dragging the hose out into the yard to go water, that there are 4 to 10 to 20 other holes that are leaking all the way along the way as you're walking across your yard with your hose, because you've got all these different things. You have your device has a SIM card in it, it has radios in it. It's got, so everything's receive transmit, right? So there's radios in there, there's visual, there's audio, there's storage, and then if you start branching, you just keep going out. It's not even an onion anymore. It's not even a rat hole. It's just like you just keep going, because the minute it moves, it's in your house. Those signals don't just stay in your house. Everyone thinks, oh, it's just my router, or it's just my Wi-Fi access point. And no, that stuff's going outside your house, and your neighbors over there going, dang. Look what they're. Anyway, if you're really good at it, the joke with us a long time ago was the Pringles can tinfoil. You can basically just bogart off somebody's network. That's what started creating network security on your own wireless access point, was because you could just bogart your neighbor's network and start using it, and if you're good at it, you basically create a small mini net on a switch in your house. Okay, I'm starting to give away too much. But anyway, you could basically, so you could just create your own network, effectively a mesh network. So it doesn't matter. There's leakage everywhere. And I don't think it's necessarily marketing or it's them selling your stuff. It's that just by using it, you're open. The minute you turn the radio on, all bets are off. That's why when you look at special operations in the military, no radios. It's like you literally go signal like dark. Everything has to be dark. Light has to be dark. So you don't want anything with an illumination on it. You don't want a radio that's transmitting. Everything has to be passive. It has to be hand signals. It's on and on and on, right? That's the only way it's going to work.
Do you see the amount, Steve? When I see the amount of update that you have on your phone, and when you see that when you phone or a computer or any devices, they're already pre-programmed and pre-installed with software that you can't even touch it. You buy a Samsung or any Android phone. If you want to delete already Google or other applications that are inside, there is some you literally can't get out. They are already integrated inside of it. Plus, when you start to have a social media in it or any other types of product, they already pre-configure everything. So you are using a technology or a product that you want to do, but even if you pay it, it's not yours. And suddenly you wake up in the morning and you have 25 updates. You receive a message, you got a spam, you got this, you got so on. In a minute, you enter in it, and there is no way to get out. When you see all if you try to get out of the cloud into the biggest already tell the names, which are all of them. Just the time that you have to just desubscribe, take out, say no. There is no way.
Well, and to some of them will think, well, that's kind of like it's advantageous for me because it's a sprinkler. You're like, what? Because, it's watering the plants behind me. So I have less watering to do when I actually am done here. You're like, oh my gosh, seriously? No, and I think that if you ask people to take the time, they're not going to. There's a reason why people will flock to Apple. Apple was created as zealotry, so it's there, and I'm on a MacBook, so I'm in it. But the key is that there's a reason why I want it. I also know I can configure it, so I can lock stuff down. I have an Android phone because I can lock it down. Apple, I can't really touch. I mean, too much stuff is installed and it's stuck there. And then to kind of riff on what Guillaume was asking, when you do get an update or when you do download software, do you know what you're downloading and do you know what you got? And also, do you know whether or not it's done any uploading? Because the only thing you see is 10, 20, 30, 40% downloaded, 50% downloaded. You haven't seen 60, 70, 80% uploaded. you don't know what it's uploading. So you have no idea because this is networking is bidirectional. It's constantly receive transmits, right? Packets are flying around. You have no idea if they're not just sucking stuff right off your computer. And if anybody uses AI, okay, so I had this was 2 weeks ago, I think, Guillaume, before we had our weekly meeting. Yeah. And I was late to our weekly meeting because I was yelling at the bot inside of Zoom. Because I'm like, would you just turn off the freaking AI thing? I don't need it. It's just Zoom. I go room and we talk. That's all I need to do. What requires AI in here? Nothing. So how do you like the AI coming at you, Justin? Ben, have you ever read anything on Reddit? That's like inviting that really sick guy that basically got arrested and now he's been moved into your neighborhood. Yeah, that's really. And how many people have actually, show of hands out there that are listening, how many of you have actually used the voice recognition on your devices? And I'm being generic here because it's not just your phones. It started kind of that way. Amazon created the evilest little bullet thing to stick in your house and it would listen for what, and everyone thought, oh, it's only when I say this phrase. Oh, no, it isn't. No. It's everything you say because it has to wait until that phrase has been uttered. So it's listening to everything. So it's processing everything you're saying. And they try, well, we don't store it. Yeah, well, did you notice how slow? And if anybody's taken NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, when you're watching someone who's being interviewed and they start looking up, and then they look down because, they're thinking, lying. What's going on? You can tell they don't know. And this taps onto the marketing, right? The people who are trying to market the product don't even know.
What do you think? Does tech make privacy, or do they market well their product, or it's half, or nothing to say?
I call bullshit.
Okay.
I don't think anybody cares about privacy from a product. From a product perspective, I don't think they care about privacy at all. They say they do, but they don't. If they did, you wouldn't have the product.
I agree. I agree with you, Steve.
We just went into AI, and AI isn't going to fix probably most of our problems, if not all of them.
No, it's going to increase the problem.
Even if you can think they're at the 80-20 level right now, which, to go into Justin's point, a plateau. Anybody that knows anything about development, once you hit that 80%, to get to 85% is a lot. To get to 90 is just ridiculously a lot. And you're never going to get to 100 and you can't. So is it worth that work? It depends on what you think it's going to be able to do for you. So, and for most of us, it's not going to do anything. It's not going to drag the hose across the yard. I'm dragging the hose across the yard. So there still has to be us, right? We still have to be here. So I still don't think they care. Now, if they start folding it into other things, which is why I was yelling at Zoom, I don't need AI here. I'm just talking to everyone else in this meeting. That's all I have. That's all I need. You can't fix anything for me. It's like, you can't fix the people I'm talking to. You can't fix this meeting. And you definitely can't fix the conversation because it's a meeting. What the heck? What's AI going to do? Go, what are you guys, stupid? I mean, going to pop up on the screen or shut us off because we're talking about stupid crap? No, it's just...
know the funniest thing about Europe is?
What?
It's the little differences. I mean, they got the same shit over there that they got here, but it's just there. It's a little different.
Example.
All right, well, you can walk into a movie theater in Amsterdam and buy a beer. And I don't mean just like no paper cup. I'm talking about a glass of beer.
Another orphan of a bankrupt culture who thinks he's John Wayne, Rambo, Marshall Dillon.
And in Paris, you can buy beer in McDonald's. And you know what they call a quarter pounder with cheese in Paris?
They don't call it a quarter pounder with cheese?
Oh man, they got the metric system. They wouldn't know what the fuck a quarter pounder is.
And what do they call it?
They call it Royale with cheese.
Royale with cheese.
That's right.
What do they call a Big Mac?
Big Mac's a Big Mac, but they call it Le Big Mac.
Le Big Mac.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Hello. So our first buyer of the Omni server, an early adopter, is joining us. Welcome, Maria, to the show. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
It's great. We appreciate to have you. Oh, we're gonna go here to discuss a bit about a few questions. My first. Where are you based? In Washington D.C.
Washington D.C. Yeah.
How's everything over there? Good.
It was very warm. Now it's very cold. Not my thing.
Yeah. Welcome to this. So, Maria, we're very happy to have you on the show with all the team. You were one of the early buyers of the Omni server. So, how did you discover our company?
I think pretty simply, you hear about all of the hacking of the cloud and everything. It's just, was bored one day and be like, are there alternatives to the cloud? And that's how I found the mini servers. So it's like, oh, okay, I don't have to use the cloud. So that's how I found it. And then I started researching the actual products and everything. I was like, okay, this is actually legit. It actually will eliminate the cloud. So
you find out about the mini server and you were interested about that, but why did you buy it? I mean, there's a ton of other products, and you bought the mini server. Why did it interest you to buy it?
Because it's so simple. It's on your wrist. It's not like a laptop that you have to carry around everywhere. So it looked extremely simple to use. So very functional. It didn't seem like it was not gimmicky at all. So I'm like, okay, might have to wait a little bit of time to actually get it, but I think it'll be worth it when it does come out. So that's why.
So yes, you bought it. You know that we created a smaller version, the prototype of the Omni server, which Steve and the whole team developed it. We developed the own motherboard. We developed our own operating system. We've been working into the first version of it, which is really actually working. Our next phase will be to go out on production. But when you start to buy the Omni server, you know that we need really to we will have a certain amount of time to develop it, and we are going into all our team. We really go after bringing back the data and the privacy to the people. So why did you become an early adopter? Why did you?
Because I wanted to be part of it. You always hear about these things like years down the road. It's like, oh, if I would have gotten it in the beginning, it would have been so cool. So that's the main reason why, because eventually when this does get big, it'll be like, that was one of the first ones. That'll be cool.
Oh, Steve, Justin, do you have any question? Go for it. It's really open if you have a question to ask.
So you mentioned ease of use, and so you were looking at the how we were saying it's going to work for you. I know that dragging around a laptop's okay, but then it's not so good when you go through TSA. So now, now you actually, what is it that? How much of it is it that you think you'd be using it, especially when you're just day to day and then travel? I think.
A lot. I mean, think about it when you go into an elevator, when you go into a metal building, like, there's no Wi-Fi. So if you try to get into your email or open up a file, you're out of luck. Like, you have to connect to something. So just, you can use it for anything, which is why I'm like, okay, this has true everyday function. It's not something that's like, oh yeah, okay, if I'm in a secure place. No, this is like, I mean, even the grocery store. There are times that it doesn't even, my phone won't even work in the grocery store. It cuts out. So if I have like a list on my email, forget it. Like, I can't even get into my email in a grocery store. So super simple things like that, let alone like if you go to the doctor and you have information that you have to get out and then you can't access it. I mean, it has real life use for it. So
Steve is in the Air Force, so he knows what happened when you are in a plane, no, Steve?
I bet.
Well, I think anyone that's traveled internationally knows what happens when you get stuck on an airplane and it's 10 hours to, Frankfurt, and you're like, oh my gosh, I should have downloaded all of my music. Because then you get on there and you're trying to use that lousy Wi-Fi and it's just horrible. Why? Because if you're on an A380, there's 300 other plus people trying to get onto the same stupid Wi-Fi. So it's going to suck. And it's exactly what you were saying is being in the grocery store. Well, do you think it's great? Has anybody tried to get on the internet in Home Depot? I mean, seriously. It's like,
yes, I have. Horrible. Horrible.
So then, and what you mentioned is that, well, then I could take a screenshot of that product and then I go in, because I would do it that way, because then I know I don't have to worry about the internet. I already saw what it was. It's just sitting there waiting for me. And then I just go open up the picture and go, that was the product I want. And it actually has the aisle and it has the place where I can find it. So what you're saying is now I don't have to care about the internet. I just go I'm doing my little prep, my little notes. I mean, I still see people and I have friends that come in with their little notepad and they've written down like, you
have to. You have to. You cannot trust. Yeah. I mean, as advanced as we are, it's amazing how you can't trust your phone now. So you have to go old school. Let me get a pen and paper and write this down. So, go caveman on it. I haven't been affected by it too much, although recently Verizon had, I think it was hacked, and I do have Verizon, and I was at work, and I'm like, what's wrong with my phone? What's wrong with the Wi-Fi? And then a friend of mine who had AT&T looked it up and it's like, oh yeah, all Verizon's down. I'm like, okay. So, I mean, so technically it did sort of affect me recently with hacking, but I'm sure at some point in the past I was affected. I just didn't even know. Right.
And then having looked at it, what would you want to connect to the mini server? What would you think of?
For me, day-to-day things. I mean, I sell cars, so I would be connecting, things with that, and have horses, so a lot of, the horse information for the vet and stuff, because I live out in the middle, and I work here in DC. I'm based here in DC, but I live out in Central Virginia, so there's no service. So when you really do need to access these things, which are very important, zero access to it. And that can be a life or death situation with a horse. So for like the vet, so that's basically like what I'd be using it for.
And then which devices would you connect?
My phone, obviously. My iPad, things like that.
And your headset to listen music, no?
Yeah. But that's the other thing that I did not expect. I was mainly thinking about information, but then when I saw you could connect music, you can even watch movies. I'm like, okay, that's pretty cool. It's an added bonus.
And when you had the disconnected, did you get access to your email? Because of course,
zero.
All
at least for me, zero. I had no access to anything. So that was weird. I didn't think it was going to affect it that much, but yeah, nothing. To do nothing. And that was like 8 hours. It was an 8-hour thing. They were not connecting for a while. So.
And they don't reimburse you. Of course.
Highly doubt that. No. But what's really scary is that how used to we are of our information just being accessible, like things getting hacked. It's like, oh, well, like we've learned to be like, that's just going to happen. And So that's scary. That it's like, oh well, all my private information might get out there. It's like we've learned to accept that. That's just what's going to happen. So, and that's nice to have a true cloud alternative. So that kind of situation doesn't have to happen anymore. So another reason why I really was looking forward to getting the little mini server. So.
Oh, nice. Well, thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to create a revolution. That started with a small idea, and
right.
we really wanted to make something for giving back privacy to the people. We create another path beyond the cloud. When we met with Steve and member of the team, our goal is to reunite it together to really bring something that is truly valuable for the consumer. I know, Steve, for that, we've been together already since a long time. And when we chit chat, it was really that when we started, we really want to build product like it was. Remember back in the 80s, Steve?
When we actually built products. US pretty much gave that up, that's for sure. And the nice part too is that once you have it with you, it's yours. No one else has it, so you get to have all of your own stuff on it. And it's not
right.
I always found it funny because a nerd gets it, but the bad part about nerds, including myself, is that then they also think, well, then it should do this, and it's like, you don't understand. It's just a server. It's just a storage point, and it's a place for you to keep all your private stuff electronically. And now you can attach anything to it. Like you can attach your watch, you can attach your phone, you can attach your iPad, like you had said. You can attach a computer. You can actually have it access it. You share files
right.
with friends. And then that's when people go, wait, what? So I can do what again? And the one I always used to use when Guillaume and I used to talk to Elon way back when we were talking about how we wanted to position things, I always said the best part was flying to Europe. And I have my wife and I are sitting in 2 seats. Our daughters are behind us. I'd have all of the movies, all of our music, everything on it. And then everyone just connects. And now they're either using their phone to listen to the music, or they're on their iPad watching a movie, or they've got their laptop connected because they want to do their homework on their way. It's 10 hours.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and I don't have to worry about it. Plus, if it starts to run low on battery, I just charge it and it's still working. So I don't have to worry about it. Then I thought, well, I think anybody can get behind that. They just want to be able to do it. Right. Guillaume used to talk about listening to music on a peak somewhere in Whistler or in Swiss Alps, and you can listen to all your own music because there's no Wi-Fi up on the edge of that mountain. So there you go.
No,
right?
I wouldn't think so.
But just keep an eye out next time you're out in the middle of Virginia. Just watch out for the Yeti coming for your device. That's just watch out. Once the Yeti finds out you got one and realizes it's not some
over
voice activated thing, then it's just going to take it from you.
Right. They're very elusive and they want to stay that way.
And do you pay a lot of subscription, like videos and stuff like this? Because when you had this experience of not getting access more to your data, you pay a lot of people pay cloud subscription, which they don't feel it. We don't at our company. We don't need subscription. You buy the product, it's yours. It's
right.
That's too makes I think so makes our life easier as a consumer, because at the end of the day we want to make life easier to the people, giving them a product that really respect humanity, respect them, and don't buy any more extra clouds. You are constantly bombarded with commercials from Google and from all those people that wants to pay you 100 terabytes of cloud, and when you are in a plane, you can't get access to it anymore. So it's pretty screwed.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Maria, to come. You have to, if you want to stay with us, please stay with us to keep us chit-chatting. If so, well, we thank you so much to be there. And I see. Thank you for coming
I
to
will
the show.
go. I have to go, but thank you.
It's free. Thank you so much,
Thank
Maria.
you. Nice
Thank
meeting
you.
you all. Bye.
Nice meeting you all.
Bye.
Let's go for our next subject.
Yep.
So thank you.
That really doesn't help my tinnitus. You know that, right? It's like,
hey, you didn't expect that.
no, it's never helped my tinnitus every time you play it.
Yes. So let's talk about a bit about the news in our section. So we're gonna go and just check up a bit what is happening right now in this industry and just comment on it. I'm gonna share the screen. By the way, so so there was the famous Microsoft. I think here, Microsoft got really a cloud failure. So we were talking about that. Wow, as always, I think Steve is like me. We love Microsoft. I think we love them so much. I don't know.
I think they should have picked a different color for the product line because everybody remembers the blue screen of death from NT. So it's sort of like, why did you name it Azure? It's just a nicer version of blue. It's like, come on, boneheads. It died clearly. So there you go.
Oh yeah, so they got a major cloud outage. Really, what's more funny is that then they tell you no, they keep everything. Now I see that you can't be able to have access to Microsoft Team. I had Microsoft Team for my stuff, but now you need to register. The old version doesn't work. Thank you so much for keeping my data private, Microsoft.
You know why? Because they're trying to feed AI into the infrastructure. So they have to get you to uninstall the older version and then register for the new one and install it. Because that's where you're going to end up.
And there's so much cross-platform, because all that is more scary. It's very scary. But when you see that all those big companies now cross their platform together with AI, and they all exchange their data, and they're now they're all sending their information. They're all getting to servers. Everyone is eating in the same dish.
Well, you could have seen this coming already a long time ago because Windows NT was basically, it's all I used in my house because it was the closest thing that you could get to a Linux ages ago. NT4 was it. And I kept that as a server in my house, even though I had a newer server. That was what I kept most of my really hardcore stuff on if I didn't install Linux on something. And that NT server, the reason they killed it was because they couldn't. All right, so this is going to give away Microsoft's house, but if everybody remembers, that was also the sort of the titular head of the search engine wars, and MSN sucked. The MS search was just horrible. Like nobody was going there and searching because it was terrible. Everybody was on Lycos, or they were going to Google, or they were using Yahoo. And Yahoo had great commercials. Nobody else did. Yahoo had a great marketing department because their commercials were awesome. So you could see what's happening. And I worked at ask.com. I remember pronounced the K. Ask.com, and which used to be Ask Jeeves. All of these search engines were fighting. They were vying for this space and how they could get ad revenue. And Microsoft found a way around it. They basically said inside Windows, down in the base, in Windows operating system, they would put a search engine hook, effectively look at it like an API, just a hook. And every time you typed something in your screen, it would do a search out on Microsoft Search Network. It would go out and it would do a search and return a result. And that's what was wrong with Windows. I'm like, so wait, everything I type in a browser or in Microsoft Word or in anything on this machine becomes a search phrase. So that was the Kraken. That was releasing the Kraken. We were all so screwed if we were, and that's when I went, I went and started buying Linux. Anyone I could find, like old school Red Hat at the time, was probably the best at the time. I just was, that's it. I got to get off but I can't give that kind of a system to, my family. No, they don't want to be working on Linux. The apps suck. So then I would just tell them, please just don't do anything when you're using your PC. It's like, just, it's your homework. Yeah, you're doing a search, but don't worry about it. Just make sure you're using Firefox and make sure that you've got, Avast, which today is probably the most prevalent, but, make sure you have some sort of web search, safety in there. And then I'll just keep track of it and I'll go make sure I could clean up the machine once a week or once every other week. So that was the beginning of it all. And now we're here. Now they're trying to embed AI into it.
Yeah,
wow.
That's why they have cloud AI. You see at CS Las Vegas, big cloud AI. Yeah. So they integrate the AI into the cloud. So it's just
and this
AI on
when Azure went down, which now you could put in the middle of this. If you could look at a timeline, Hotmail used to be really big, and if anybody knew anything about Hotmail, which was Microsoft's mail, that was running on Sun Microsystems servers. It wasn't running on PCs. It wasn't working on a PC framework. Hotmail was running on Sun Microsystems servers. Microsoft realized we have to get off of there because we're not eating our own dog food. So they basically switched it over to work on a Windows network. And the day they flipped the switch, it crashed. All of Hotmail was dead for like a couple of days at least. This is just repeating the same thing. The minute they put AI and a bunch of stuff, it got flooded. I just don't think they realized how much everyone is doing on their system, a PC. A lot's happening on the system. And that's also because their operating system is still doing searches. So, so now you've got searches and AI, and just think in terms of like Jello 1, 2, 3 or a 5 to 7 layer cake. I mean, that's what's happening. It just keeps going. So the bottom layer is getting crushed and boom.
Plus the hardware now that it's in the hardware that is compromised with their chips, AI.
And then you're just looking back going, there's a piper down. It's just that's it. It's just one. Oh, gosh, everybody remembers that movie. But anyway, I mean, that was pretty bad.
And you see all the app stores, Google, all of them are leaked today, and AI apps as just are.
Yeah, this is kind of unfair. Knowing this one's kind of unfair though, because the AI apps on the Google Play Store, it's not just Google Play; it's everywhere.
Oh no, it's the whole.
I know. So,
it's the whole space.
I'm not blaming you. I'm blaming this article. Whoever wrote this is because any AI app, and just erase Google Play. Any AI app installed is leaking customer data and photos. That's the sentence. You can't nail Google. Okay, Google's not. I'm not trying to defend these guys. They're not the greatest, but the Apple is installing the same apps.
Oh, so they all do. What
do you want from me?
They all do. They all install all in your operating system. They all get now the hardware. More than 60% of the whole web is already contaminated by AI, and this is just a small number. And now that they cross-platform, they put everything into the cloud, everything is leaked, and they don't have any control on it. They didn't even control what was but that's all the data. You go to anybody, any big companies, ask them, what do you have in your servers? They don't know what they have in it. They say they know, but they don't have a clue on what's in it. Half of the data are there, or maybe false, or not really good into it, and they crushing not only the whole tech industry, but they're using power into it. They're building tons and tons of servers at the back.
But this goes back to the marketing perspective.
Yes,
which is
correct.
All I'm saying though is that the imagery is great. You could take all the pictures you want, but the minute you want to share it, then it's going to go out on the network. And the issue that I'm going to get to is that, so if you are a person who likes to Insta or likes to, Facebook, or likes to, do threads, or likes to do, name it, like just pick one, right? Even on X, like if you're going to post stuff, the minute you post it, your stuff's out. Well, usually the stuff you've picked to post is stuff you're willing to share. It's the picture of your dog running down, running down the lane with the ball, right? Okay, so that you knew that was out there. You leaked it, quote unquote. You were fine with it. And that touches back on what Maria said, which is, you had to kind of accept it. It's sort of an acceptable thing. So if you want to share and you want the portion of your ego to get fed, then you're living with it because you got to put it out there. So you're sharing your family, right? So this is kind of amusing because they say leaking. No, we're leaking. We're the hose. Like, we're the ones that are leaking across the yard. It isn't the app per se. It's us. We've done it to ourselves. So that's where you have to be a good steward. And yeah, no, definitely. And and we've all mentioned the whole phrase ease of use, right? So it just makes things easier. But that also means, though, that you've also created a factor of laziness, which is kind of a bummer, right? The minute you let it do something for you, what's interesting is it doesn't have a memory except when you ask it to do something. Oh, and anytime, I connect with you, make sure I have enough storage space on my hard drive on my computer. And that's so open-ended that what it can do is, oh, well, you haven't used this app in probably a month, so I'll delete it. Well, that's probably because you use that one app one time a year, and it's probably called QuickBooks, or whatever. Whenever you do your taxes, it's only used once a year. Jesus, just leave it on there. Like, I was okay with that. AI doesn't care. It's not thinking that way. It goes in and goes, oh, well, look at all these files you have here. I'm going to go delete all of your kids' first birthday pictures because it doesn't know what they are. It just knows how much they take up. And I've done this in the beginning.
All the
when
time.
when you feed things into an AI engine, you tell it, well, is this real? Or what is this? It really isn't doing image recognition. And it also Claude doesn't really write software either. And I found this with Grok. I've asked it to, hey, if I wanted to generate this chart, how would I do it? Throws up a Python script. And I go, and then I go run it. Or if it's C, because I did some stuff with some C stuff a long time ago, but in this case, Python. So I run it and it fails. I'm like, and then I go looking at it going, God, okay, I can't really mention an offshore, but that's what it's like. I'm like, Jiminy Christmas. I've had too many companies and too many jobs with this where I have to now go check the code. It's ridiculous. It's horrible. And then I'm just like, ugh, it isn't any easier. So if somebody's thinking it's going to work for them, it's not really working that well. Your little fingertips are going to get burnt. It's really not a good idea because you're going to go back on their laptop going, like you got to go fix it.
So talking about laptop, Steve, what do you think about the latest MacBook Neo, the latest 7 products that Apple got out recently, between the new entry into the market of let's say a more affordable price, did again another iPhone. Those are two latest products. What are your thought of thinking?
iPhone's not new.
No, so I agree. I think that the MacBook Neo, I mean, come on, to go to lower this price, there is nothing new in the horizon in terms of technology. Then, yes, they want to reach a lower
price point,
price point customer. Now, I think that for me, the MacBook Neo, it's an iPad with a keyboard. That's it. And today, I mean that Apple has lost what is called innovation. It's just a refreshing product over and over again. And when you see the spec on the iPhone 17e, you have the same specs that a phone that was back 10 years ago. So there is no really an innovation in it. Justin and Steve, what are your thoughts in that? I think I always say Apple has died with Steve Jobs.
There
is no more innovation, and I think
it's happened twice. Just remember, this has happened twice. Jobs left Apple a long time ago, and it floundered. But and I was buying Next computers, which was what Steve created was Next. So I and some of the companies I worked at, we were buying Next cubes and Next slabs. Because we wanted to stay on that operating system and on the edge, because those were the edge. And he was innovating all the time. And then finally, he ends up back at Apple again. And I think near the end, I sort of feel like they kind of started pigeonholing him, and they were just kind of boxing him out because they thought they had everything that they were going to get from him. But in reality, they didn't realize you just squandered your biggest resource because he was Apple. And so for me, I don't look at it that way. I would probably, if they genericize their platform enough, I would just put Linux on it. You can today. But I mean, and the inverse is true. I would go get a high-end Raspberry Pi and put Mac OS on it. You know, because I don't need their computer. I don't. I just need a display, which is effectively what they've done here. Is it's just a little portable, and you said it pretty much well enough that it's an iPad with a keyboard, like physically attached to it. It's not like you could go get the keyboard, huh? Right.
You imagine the Omni server is already more powerful than the MacBook Neo, and we have designed it already 2 years ago, and it's already more powerful than that. Yes, the aspect of the power is it, but maybe Apple is trying to get. Does Ferrari will make cheap car? I don't think so. And
well, but Porsche just proved to everyone, like anyone who was looking at it from the outside, go, why are you going to make a 911 electric? Like, what are you, stupid? Yeah. I want it for the engine. I don't want it because it's electric. I'm buying a Porsche because I want the car. I don't want some electric motor. I want the car. Like, I want the sound. I like the sound of it, or, you know, or whatever, right? So it's if I were going to spend that kind of money, right? And that's the same thing. I'm in agreement with you, Justin. I'm actually not. What I was making disparaging comments because I think it's just a sleazy way to go because they can't innovate. So what do? They make a smaller version of it and go cheap. And then everything's going to be in, you can get it in rose, you can get it in bright yellow, you can get it in this. And but they're kind of trying to drag Steve Jobs out of the morass again, because he was the one that, when you remember the little iMac, the bubble one, they were in blue, they were in orange, they were in whatever. So, you know, it's just kind of, and I'm thinking of the the movie where we've got Owen Wilson, you know, beating on it, you know, making sounds like a monkey as he's, you know, and him, they're like, you know, they're trying to, because the files are inside, they're inside, you know, it's like, so it's, you know, people don't, you know, I don't.
You're right. I mean, in terms of marketing, yes, it's a great move. I think so too. In terms of what is the essence of Mac and what Apple has always been an innovator, no, they are.
Well, now I'll annoy anyone who listens to this, but all I have to do is say one word: Chromebook. They're just doing a Chromebook, is what they're doing. You know, so there's a negative factor to that, and it comes about with the non-nerd who has had an iPhone for a long time, just gone through the cycles, right? And you could see an iPhone 6-ish going to maybe an 8 or a 9, you know, as you started to they started to cap out. You weren't really getting anything new. It's the same damn camera outlay. It's the same this, it's the same that. And my wife would turn around and go, here, and she'd go, you need to take the pictures because your Android takes better pictures than my iPhone does. And she knows it because she's seen the pictures. And when I share the picture or I send it via a text message, she's the one that's basically going, why does yours look so much better than mine? And all I've got are, like, now I have 3 cameras. I didn't before. It was just one regular camera. So it's kind of odd that would be true. I think they've really plateaued, which is sad because they've kind of, she's so frustrated because I'm not buying the other one. She's still using an iPhone 14 or 16. I can't remember. I think she's still way back. I'm still running I got a 2014 MacBook that I use. That's just my coding engine. That's the one that I compiled Omni server on. Then I've got this one because I got rid of my other one.
So we started chit-chatting.
Well, you'll chop some of us out.
We do. But last question, and we close it out. Do you think Apple has lost its essence through the years, or is just trying to convert a monopolistic market to keep growing market share?
Yeah, and Justin said it correctly. We kind of were rabbit holing on that back just behind us, which was like, I don't think innovation is real anymore. And I think AI is going to kill it. And I don't mean that means it's going to take away the jobs from people. I think it creates laziness. So, and I'll recount a story I had a long time ago. I know Justin wasn't in on it the time I'd said this, but I used to have lunch. So I worked at Citrix. So I always say I have to do my mea culpa because because of Citrix, we created the cloud. No one knew what it was. And Amazon was putting our servers in place, right? So all of our Citrix stuff was in those, and they were trying to decide to go between us and VMware, right? So they're going to build out. So we're building out the cloud. And when we would, a bunch of my friends and I from the engineering teams would go downstairs and have lunch, and it'd probably be 5 or 6 of us, and we're sitting around riffing and using movie clips and just stupid stuff, right? But you'd get to something like, and what was that again? That was like, I know it was this movie. And one of my friends reached for the phone. I said, if you touch it, you buy lunch. They're like, what? And I go, don't touch your phone. You got to use your head. Like, you need to access that memory, because if you don't, you're going to start, your brain's going to die. Slowly but surely, synapses aren't really firing anymore. People who don't do puzzles anymore, they start to waste away. And it's just trivia. But you know what? Most of the trivia is tucked away in the back. It's a memory that has a sense or a feeling to it, because it's a funny scene or it's a whatever. So it should be easier to extract it. So you want to keep that alive, right? Because that's memories of your kids when first step. There's those things, right? You want to remember those. And I think that's the problem, is that since they're not innovating and they're sticking AI into everything, everyone's brain's going to melt. And it's not from like an evil thing. It's from a laziness thing. I mean, I think to me, it's not just them. I think the bad part is that they're allowing the laziness to seep in.
Yeah, and there is a so big business interest today with the information, and
just wait till they start using the learning models are starting to access all of your stuff that you've been storing up on the server.
And so
they just didn't tell you that's what they were doing.
Yeah,
Anthropic. If you want a real AI to work, it needs to find a way to act as if it were a human.
And AI doesn't exist, so it's just we are far from it.
Sorry, Dave. I'm not going to allow you.
Yeah, I agree. I think that there is they just basically give laziness for the people now. It's not anymore how technology should have been built.
Old guys rule. We're also dinosaurs.
Correct.
So,
that's why we build different stuff, and that's why we want to build something different. Things never get old. Never. We already reuse what was.
What do you mean I am?
We
I'm
already
getting old.
reuse stuff. Oh yeah.
I look like it, but you didn't see the vitamin C. The sword. Yeah, it's right behind me.
Oh yeah. Well.
It's me and Iron Man.
Thank you. Today we close our podcast. Thank you for everyone for listening. We will be next week for another episode. Thank you, Steve. Please have a great day. Have a great night. It was a hell of a day together. And you who are listening, thank you for following us, and see you next week. Tschüss.
Tschüss.